Hi everyone, and welcome to the Proper Shoe Fit Archetypes and Brannock Device webinar. My name is Jennifer Wong. I've worked with New Balance for 15 years, most recently in the NBRX Foot Health and Corporate Wellness Division. I'm a certified corporate wellness specialist, certified therapeutic shoe fitter, and certified pedorthist. So it's really important to know your archetypes. There's basically 3 in the industry, although many people will fall in a continuum. There's the high arched, which is a little bit more rigid. There's the normal medium arch, and then the flat arch. And we'll get into why that's important in just a second. The Brannock device measures the heel to toe size, heel to ball of foot, or how much your arch elongates, also called the arch length and width. And a closer inspection, we've purchased men's and women's specific Brannock devices for you guys. On the right-hand side, you'll see the width slider. On the left-hand side, you'll see the arch length slider, and we'll get into how you do that in a second. So this is a good example that shows how you should properly measure someone. Helen is standing while Joanne is measuring her, and Joanne has made sure that her heel is all the way back into the heel cup. So oftentimes I'll hold the Brannock device and gently push that person's heel all the way back. You want to move jeans or pant legs out of the way. You want to find the bunion area or the big toe ball joint and put that right on there. You want the pointer to rest right in the middle of that big ball joint. So on closer inspection, you can see Joanne has properly lined up all the measurements. And Helen's heel to toe size is a 9. So if you look at that heel to toe, you go up to the right-hand side, the width, you follow 9 from the heel to toe size to the letter measurements. And Helen's width on her left foot is an A, which is narrow. Remember, on women, B is the regular width. On men, D is the regular width. And then we go over to the arch length, and you can see, you look at where that the middle part is pointing to, and you can see that Helen's heel to ball, or aka arch length, is an 8.5. So we'll just slowly move away. You can look at the image for a little bit. So we want to write down the 3 measurements. I just made up an example to showcase something in a little bit. In this made up example, the woman's right foot, the toe length is an H, the arch length is an 8.5, and the width is a B. So on this example, her right foot, her arch is lengthening in relation to her toe length. On the left foot, her toe length and arch length are the same, and her width is a little bit narrower. So on her right foot, she has a medium arch, and on the left foot, she has a high arch. But in this example, we would tell the person their shoe size is the longest, which is an 8.5 B, the longest and the widest width. So you want to fit to the arch length, not the toe length. And again, another reminder, women's regular width is a B, women's wide width is a D, extra wide is 2E, men's regular width is a D, men's wide width is a 2E, and men's extra wide would be a 4E. So we wanted to explain why heel to ball is essential, and it's because 2 feet are not often the same length, because they'll bend differently depending on arch length. And why that's important is because shoes are made to bend exactly where your arch bends. So a lot of times we see people that don't know about a wider width shoe, and they measure an 8, but they buy a size 10, for instance, and that is not proper shoe fit. So just wanted to give you some footwear facts. It's incredibly important to measure both feet every year because your foot size will change, and part of proper health and proper foot health especially is to get both feet measured every year. Your foot size and width may increase as you age, as your fat pad dissipates or your health changes. Women with pregnancy, arthritis, diabetes, etc. Black toenails are a sign that your shoes are either too short or not wide enough. And shoes only last 6 months to 1.5 years depending on frequency of use. If you're on your feet all day long, we really suggest that you get 2 pairs of shoes and alternate them, because the shoes just don't last that long. So going back to our 3 different arch types. If we remember, the first one was the high arch. That's our neutral cushioning lineup of shoes. And if we go back to the Brannock device, that means that the toe length and the arch length are the same, or the arch length is shorter. So you have a really high, often rigid arch. And we have 2 types of neutral shoes, a structured neutral, where the upper material and the midsole is not as flexible as a flexible neutral. So when you're thinking about shoes and when you're talking to the person you're measuring, you want to ask them what was their favorite kind of shoe that worked best for their foot. Our second type of shoe and arch is stability. So again, that was that normal arch or medium arch. That arch is a little bit flexible, it pronates, rolls in a little bit, and based on the Brannock, the arch length was a half size longer than the toe length. So remember in that original example, that woman's toe length was an 8 and her arch length was an 8.5. That would be an example. In the stability lineup, we have 3 types: low stability, medium stability, and high stability. The third one was that really flat arch, and that's in the motion control because that flat foot really pronates or rolls in a lot, excessive movement, very flexible foot. And when we look at the Brannock measurements, that arch length is a full size longer than the toe length. So a hypothetical example would be for a woman, she measured a toe length of 8, but her arch length was a 9. And here's an example of the motion control shoe. The 1540 is one of our most popular selling motion control shoes. There's also the 1340 and 940. So we also want to give you some fit tips. You definitely want to be standing when you're trying on your shoes, and your longest toe, which is not necessarily your big toe, about 20% of us have a second longer toe called a Morton's toe. That should be about half thumbnail's width from the end of the shoe. It is incorrect for your toes to be hitting the end of the shoe. A lot of times people think that's proper fit. That's not. You need a little bit of room. Your feet swell so you want to try on shoes later in the day or after exercise. Get both feet measured. You want to stand to be measured because, again, as we just learned, your arch can elongate upon standing. And try shoes on both feet to fit your larger foot. So if you have additional questions, you can email my colleague in Boston, helen.garrity@newbalance.com. Thank you so much for attending our webinar.